Trey Traviesa and his family. He came to me and said he's going to climb Kilimanjaro. I went, way to go, have a good time. And then he said, well, get your daughters involved. I said, there's no way. They won't be interested. I presented it to them. They came back and said, well, we're not sure. And I said, well, what about if we raise money for Pepins Hospital and people will donate for the climb? And they went, all right, we're in. So that was the impetus.
That was, meaningful experiences with your daughters that help shape them for the rest of their life and help give you a very special experience with your daughter that you never forget and they never forget. And to share that idea with a good friend who I know takes fatherhood of his daughters very seriously seemed very natural, and was very happy when Tom and his daughters decided they would join us. I mean, they made the trip a very special experience beyond what we experienced together. And then to do what Tom and his family were able to do for the hospital and for people in need, just once in a lifetime experience, doesn't really come close to what this was like. On the flight home, I asked one question. What's the most important thing you learned about this trip? And they both said it almost exactly the same time. We believe we can do anything now, and that's worth the whole trip.
This western bridge is the most difficult approach to get to this top of the mountain. It's 20 degrees at night, it's 80 degrees during the day. When it warms up, these rocks fracture, and these big boulders come right down what's called Thunder Alley. I came around the corner because I was about a half hour behind everybody, and all of a sudden this big boulder is coming right down the mountain, right at the whole group of these kids. And all the people that were there jumped on top of them.
I remember hearing my dad saying, get down, like screaming. And it freaked me out because I wanted to stay there and look at it. And then all I could see him was grab me and put me down, and I was like, oh no. And then he would yell at us to get down. It was scary though, because we heard it coming.
Yeah.
With our heads ducked, you could hear it. It was terrifying.
I just immediately started crying. I was like, here it is.
And at that moment, it looked to me I was going to lose it. The whole climb party was going to be lost. Here comes this big boulder, and I'm sitting behind a big rock going, oh Jesus, it's over. All the Sherpas were jumping on top of all the hikers. I don't know what kept me going. I don't know what kept all of us going, because I know that everybody wanted to turn around day 4, 5, and 6.
I think one of the most inspiring things about watching Tom climb the mountain and keep pursuing and keep pushing is that they proudly carried the Pepins Heart Hospital flag, in his backpack the entire journey. And I really think in that way, carrying a little piece of every one of the patients, all of the surgeons and doctors, all the employees of the hospital, all the people that are involved to save people's lives, carrying a little piece of those people, they kept Tom going.
Kept getting harder and harder, and every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning they come banging on your tent. It's time to go again. It's like, I don't know if I've got it, and I hear everybody else going. I go, all right, let's go.
He says he's going to get me to the top even if he has to carry me, and I'm going to challenge him on that. Yeah. Look at this right there, baby.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he, being such a strong man, he doesn't like to show pain, especially for us. So if he's in pain, then we are also. And so I think seeing him vulnerable made us vulnerable and made us come together, and that's what kind of made us get to the top.
It's hard to accept help when you just want to be strong and you want to do it on your own. But when you get to a certain point and there's, no oxygen and you're tired, and it feels like every step in front of the other, especially for a lot of these Pepins heart patients, they don't want to accept that they need the help, and that ECMO machine is the help that they really need and that will help them. Same thing with the porters, just taking off your backpack for a second and letting them carry it and letting them help you might be the help that you need to just keep going.
I think that you'd be surprised what the human body can do. What you think is your limit is not your limit, and you just keep pushing and pushing, and you can really accomplish way more than you think you can.
Yeah.
We did reach the goal of buying an ECMO machine, and that has paid many dividends since the day we raised that money. There's been 75 patients that have availed themselves of this machine and have gone through life-saving surgery. I think that our family has learned that it's part of our legacy and part of our family that we do these things for other people, and we felt what it felt like to be able to accomplish that and to be able to save those 75 lives this year.
I think we're really proud to achieve what we have within the community and to give back as much as we're able to, and to kind of put our heart and souls into an achievement and adventure like this was an accomplishment and also an honor.
Not only financially, but just so other people can, look at us and be like, wow, I can do something like that too, and I can beat anything.
What I saw of these girls on top of that mountain was beyond anything I'd ever imagined. The limit that they went to and the strength that I saw was phenomenal.
I think coming from a father to another father, I look at what Tom is offering his girls, and I think it's one of the best gifts there is to put your children to a test. It doesn't always have to be something as big as Kilimanjaro, but finding out where they are and meeting them, they're always at, with another challenge for personal growth, for physical growth, but also just the opportunity to experience life.
At the summit, I think, was my favorite experience. It was very spiritual. I remember it was sunrise and the sun was just peeking over the cloud line, because you're on top of the cloud line in Africa. And I saw Jesse, who had, like a mountain man, run 100 yards ahead of us to get to the summit. And I saw him kneeling, praying, and I just broke down crying. I was like, this is the most spiritual moment I've ever had in my entire life, and to have my whole family, and to turn around and see Tina and my dad coming up behind us, I just kind of lost it. It was amazing.
Honestly, it's indescribable. Like the feeling and the view, it's like nothing that anybody has ever seen before. I just remember being just filled with, it's like almost a euphoric feeling, where am I right now? Like, what is this? It was amazing. It's indescribable.
At the top, it really felt like I could conquer anything at the end of the day, and I just felt so just proud of myself and proud of everyone, because I couldn't have done it without anyone here, and it was just an amazing 7 minutes.
All of your senses are firing at the highest level, which almost never happens, right? I mean, at that moment, you're that tired, you're that happy, it's that beautiful. Everything you can sense is being sensed at an extremely high level. And so you feel it, and euphoria is the right feeling. You feel a lot of love for the people you did it with. Yeah. You feel a lot of gratitude for the opportunity to be there. I felt a lot of why me? Why did I get to do this? It's a very special thing.
Blessing.
The deeper transformation that we see is usually emotional, it's inward, it's spiritual, it's very personal, but it manifests itself physically. And that was the coolest piece, was I was watching something in the physical before my eyes, something tangible, but it was directly related to their spirit, their will. I always go back to remembering our lead guide saying at the beginning of the trip that Kilimanjaro means hard to conquer. And I think really it's better translated hard to capture.
It was amazing to think, we did this, and then they make you go down in essentially almost a full day, maybe 2 days, when you took 6 days to go up. Yeah. So we were running down, it's pounding, I wish we would have taken a few more days to go down. I wouldn't have minded sleeping in the tents longer, but I don't know if people think differently.
All I did was held on to my porter, and he just slid down, and I was like, keep going, don't stop.
Hakuna Matata, super fine.
Super fine.
I felt like they were the physicians and the clinicians that are in the hospital. We were the patients on that mountain.
Yep.
They were helping us to get through the procedure as it would be in a hospital.
Our family history has a lot of, we have a lot of pride in how much we give back to our community, and selflessly, I think that yes, it was an amazing opportunity for us to push ourselves as far as we were pushed, but in the back of our heads we thought, this suffering is right now. These patients back at home, that's their reality, that's all they have. And I think for our legacy, it's just us getting involved and helping, people in need, and I think that was pretty important for us to be able to be a part of it.
it makes me feel proud to say that the experience we had was so great, but to also say that we helped 75 people with the machine that we were able to raise money for. And I think that's the greatest accomplishment here.
I think a lot of people go to Kilimanjaro as a, check in the box, just another way to kind of show off and say, oh, look what I've done. And there was never really a moment like that for Tom. This was always clearly about either inspiring his daughters, helping them learn something about themselves, and all of the stuff at the Pepin Heart Hospital.
And to us it was 10 days, and it was probably the hardest 10 days of our lives, but for them, those 75 people and obviously more, 75 and counting, it's not 10 more days, it's the rest of their lives, like saving their lives and saving their families' lives. So that's pretty amazing.
Not only that, I think it's very personal for us, not only because our grandfather was saved by a heart transplant, but our father as well. We have, that's in our genes, and I think that's why it hit home for us so much, because we can relate to families who are going through that situation, and whatever we can do, I think that's what got us up and down.
Very few people really invest themselves in the service of others, and Pepins do that on a regular basis, whether that's with the hospital or with the school. And this trip is a small example of how, beyond writing a check for a machine, going through an experience that can bring some hope to people, that can teach young people how this should happen in the future, how they can do more than just invest their money, but they can invest themselves in these experiences that give service and hope to other people. That's a different level of philanthropy. That's an all-in level of philanthropy, and the Pepin family is an all-in philanthropy family.
I believe philanthropy is in the Pepin DNA, and I'm proud to hear and feel that the legacy will be continued, because they understand now that the efforts, the small effort that we have given on that mountain has led to such a life-saving result. And I know that the future is strong for that legacy to continue.
One thing I've learned to appreciate is oxygen and the heart. It's good to be home.